What is up, and welcome back to another video because this weather pattern and severe weather is about to really ramp up across the Midwest, especially over here for today, over here across the southern plains and Midwest, central plains area down here. This slight risk goes all the way from northern South Dakota down to northern Kansas, and a big marginal risk that comes all the way from Montana back down towards the southern plains even, and back over here towards the upper Midwest, and even in Missouri, some Texas, Oklahoma. And our tornado risk, we do have a tornado risk today. This this is a 2% tornado risk in Nebraska. So if you're in North Platte, Kearney, Gordon, Winter, O'Neill, you are seeing possibilities of tornadoes today. I wouldn't say very strong. It'll be an isolated tornado probability. And then we have a slight wind risk over here for South Dakota. Back in the northern Kansas, this is our slight risk. And then they just issued a SIG 1 reaching back towards Rapid City in Wyoming. This also takes up maybe parts of Colorado over here. But again, South Dakota and Nebraska. And then our hail is going to be the least of our problems today. We only have a 5% hail risk, but it is for a big area, so we could see isolated hailstones from like quarter size, ping pong size possible. Then for tomorrow, we have a big slight risk out here in the Missouri Ozarks, back up towards northern Missouri. But we also have them in the Arkansas Ozarks, possibly even back down to the Boston Mountain Range. This is the Boston Mountain Range. It's it's very small, but does take up northern Arkansas. So this does reach down probably towards the Boston Mountains, and then the Arkansas Ozarks even. And then we have a marginal risk over here from Denver, Colorado, back down towards Lubbock, Texas, over in Roswell, New Mexico. So we're gonna have to watch this too, but we also have a marginal risk over here, taking up almost all of Missouri, a bunch of northern Arkansas, in the Boston Mountains, and then southern Iowa. Our tornado risk is going to be back over here in Missouri, in the eastern side of the Ozarks is what this is going to be taking up. So mainly the eastern side of the Missouri Ozarks, and then maybe even some of far northern Arkansas. This also reaches back up into southern Iowa, just south of Des Moines, and then in some far western of Illinois. My computer is really slow today. So this does take up St. Louis. So almost all of the St. Louis metro area is in this tornado risk. Then our win probabilities are very, I wouldn't say strong. A SIG 1 chance is still on the table, of course, but we do have a high win probability out here in Missouri, in Arkansas. And then we also have a smaller risk out here from Colorado back over into New Mexico. And then the hail is going to, again, be very least of our concerns, but we could see some isolated hailstones from quarter to ping pong possible. And then tomorrow we do have two marginal risk already, or then for Saturday we do have two marginal risk already in effect for this area. One back over here in the Mississippi to Ohio Valley, in between those valleys, and then another one over here in the southern plains near Albuquerque, New Mexico, reaching back down towards El Paso. Um, So yeah. So now let's talk. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in place for this area for our tornado risk. We could even see it's very unlikely, but we could see a tornado watch. This is for a tornado watch. Actually, no, it says, oh shoot, what I do? It does say severe thunderstorm watch, so I guess it's severe thunderstorm watch, and this expires in about an hour and 11 minutes. So we could see another one expand up here. So we could see expansions to this. We already have Ryan Scholl that is out here already live, actually.
Supercell across this area today, so
See some of the rain out there. But if we, oh shoot, oh come on, what I do anyway. Um, if you look, we already do have some rain and discrete supercells happening up here. We actually do have some rotation starting to form on this one up here, just north of Parmalee. So this could get upgraded to a 5% tornado risk. It is definitely possible. Because we already are seeing some rotation on supercells. This one could possibly start very soon, but I'm not seeing much rotation on there. This one is what we're gonna have to watch. This supercell up here is going to be near White River. This is going to be, where are these heading? Okay, these are heading northeast. So this will eventually go into White River, Pro Show, Chamberlain, and Fort Thompson later. So we're gonna have to be watching a bunch of these supercells um out there. So now let's talk about the timing of uh, our weather. So right now at about 2, we are seeing some spotty discrete supercells starting to form up here in South Dakota, which is going to be where our main tornado chances are going to be. The chance for a live today is very, very low. Honestly, not expecting to go live. But we do have discrete supercells down here starting to form over here near Pierre, Rapid City. So we're gonna have to watch these, and then we have some spotty rain down here near Kansas City. Um, so we do have a bunch of spots that is going to be going into Missouri, and St. Louis, and then some of storms. So this all down here is mainly unsevere. Our boundary is going to be mainly right here. So if anything goes south of this, it will be a very, very small chance of getting severe. So some of this might end up getting severe as it goes to the northeast, but it's very unlikely because so if it were to go above this line any further, it could become one of these and ramp up and be possibly produce a tornado. But as of right now, our boundary is not looking very. It's not looking too promising. If we look at the Rufus model, you can see a big line of rain right now. So instead of a bunch of spots and then a bunch of spotty, it's just a big line of rain. Um, so now let's talk about tomorrow. Wait, this is today. So around 8 p.m., we're gonna see a bunch of storms and discrete supercells start to form, and then just create a line. But this is really gonna go just south. We're kind of for Omaha and Kansas City. So once it hits midnight and stuff, it'll be very, very unlikely that any of this will be severe. And then this is expected to go into Kansas City in this tornado risk. So we could see an early tornado probabilistic for tomorrow, as we'll just have a big line of thunderstorms surge through Missouri in our tornado risk early tomorrow. So we could see that. And then we're going to see a bunch of this surge back around, kind of like a hurricane. So after a line goes through, we could see some more discrete supercells form in this area, and then see them surge out towards Arkansas. Once they hit Arkansas, they'll be very, very unlikely of tornado producers, but this will all circle back and creating more of a rain. So we could see a flash flooding issue. We could see a big flash flooding issue over here. And then going into Saturday, that's when this is. We'll see a bunch of possible supercells, even down here, start to form in this area, and we'll just get a big blobs on Saturday. And most of our severe weather on Saturday will be the late afternoon and evening time, going into the late night hours. So yeah, we're gonna have to watch that. And if we do go to the National Hurricane Center, we currently do have a super typhoon Dolphin out here in the Western Pacific, planning to make landfall on Taiwan. Oh my god, I'm sorry. In southern Japanese islands. So this is Japan up here. And all these islands are owned by Japan. All these islands, some of these maybe could be Taiwan, but I think all of these are owned by Japan. So this could, if you're keeping up with our Facebook, I haven't really done anything much on Twitter, but you will see this is expected to make a landfall on some of these islands and maybe even northern Taiwan. This was at first we were saying, and everyone thought it was heading straight for southern Japan here and maybe even making a landfall on possible Tokyo. But now this has shifted way south and is expected to hit southern Japanese islands still, but is expected to really hit Taiwan. Our if we I've have not made a video in a while to talk about this, but our excessive rainfall has been very very promising. We have seen some big moderates being issued up here because we have had a lot of flash flooding here and even in southern Colorado we've had a couple of flash flood emergencies being issued in southern Colorado. So we are going to have to very likely watch this. If we do go back to the National Hurricane Center, we are seeing a Category 1 hurricane that was at first going up here and making a beeline for Colorado. And it kind of just went up here and it went, nope, psych, and now it's going back north again. And it is expected to weaken because our cold front boundary is like right here. It's like right here. So it once it gets above that, it will just literally fall apart and maybe even become snow and just die. We also have another mesoscale discussion down here for a severe thunderstorm watch, and then another one up here for a severe thunderstorm watch. Thank you guys so much for watching this video again. We have hit 213 followers on Facebook. Again, last night's post was Super Typhoon Dolphin as a 5 into a 4. But now it's like, yeah, it is a Category 5 into a 4 hurricane, making a beeline for Taiwan and Japan. So we're really going to have to watch these as it goes. And don't forget to follow us on all platforms. But right now, this does have a max gust of 195 miles an hour. It is currently at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And this is moving about west to northwest at about 15 miles per hour. So just stay tuned. We'll possibly have another video very soon. And thank you all again so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.